Hi Mr. Luo. So if we do the front on video first of all, Martin mentioned that the ball flight would tend to be a hook, or you would lose the ball left with curvature. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change the grip slightly. So we're going to go with just a slightly weaker grip. So what I mean here is the right hand, as opposed to where it is now, it sits quite sort of underneath the grip. We're going to try and move it round to your right, so the right hand would be a little bit more on top of the grip, and then the left hand again would move a little bit further around, so the thumb feels like it's pointing a little bit more down the grip, or the crease between your thumb and finger is a little bit more at your sternum as opposed to where it is over at the moment, which is over here. That should tend to neutralize the club face a little bit. As you take the club away, we tend to see quite a big slide with the right hip. So at the top of the swing here, you can see a lot of the pressure in your right foot is actually in the outside. Okay. As the pelvis moves so far to the right, it'll tend to work the spine a little bit too much, tilting in the opposite direction. So you can feel, you could almost put the ball underneath your right foot, and try and get the feeling that the right hip is a little bit more inside of the right foot as opposed to being a bit more on top where it is at the moment. So if I put an example in on the right hand side, just bear with me 2 minutes. Let's just have a look. Here we go. So if I just use Aaron Baddeley as an example, you can see at the top of his swing here, his right hip is very much on the inside of his right foot, and the pressure is very much stored on this the inside of his right foot, and you can see that his spine angle very much tilts in the opposite direction to what yours does. Okay, so if we go back now to the down the line swing, just pop this back in. Okay, so again, from a setup position, the only thing really here that we change is we change how far you are away from the ball. So again, if I just pop an example in here, you can see the distance away from the ball, away from the club, is dramatically less. So we're going to get yourself standing a little bit closer to the ball. Other than that, the angles of the spine and are fine. The second sort of major thing is, as you take the club away, you can see how the lead arm is very, very high. We'd want this to feel like it's a lot more across the chest, or almost feeling like it's behind the right shoulder, and we want the club to point in the opposite direction as well. So by that I mean, you can see here how this arm is much lower and across his chest. The hands sit a little bit more behind the shoulder, and the club shaft works almost pointing to the left of the target. You should be able to achieve the angle in the shaft just by changing how you take the arm back in the swing, and obviously being a little bit closer to it as well. Okay, so here, instead of where the hands are at the moment, we'd want them a little bit further round. Okay, and then as you move to the top, you can feel the swing goes a bit shorter, so that's a nice length of where the shaft is. But again, we'd want this sort of unit a little bit lower and a little bit more behind over here, so the arm gets across the chest a lot more. Again, the shaft going across the line at the top is a little bit to do with the pelvis, which we've already addressed from the front on. But yeah, that would help you achieve a lot better downswing. You can see how much the arms work out and in front of you on the way down. You want to get this feeling of the hands very much staying behind the body on the way back down. So again, you can see that they're very close to the body as opposed to being out in front. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions at all, just let me know.